must I live through this pain? Life will never be the same. How must I live through this pain? Life will never be the same. One day we'll meet again. Hey, those days, why you gone and leave me? I am here all alone. Oh, my don't come back home. Oh, my baby, why you gone and leave me? I am here all alone. Oh, my love, come back home. Oh, my love, come back home. Oh, my love, come back home. With humble hearts and heads bowed down in thanks for each new day of toil, we kneel before thine altar, Lord. The children of Guyana soil. Oh, great is the task that thou hast given, thy will to show, thy truth to find, to teach ourselves that we are one in thy great universal mind. Yea, but not in vain. We'll strive to build a new Guyana, great and free, a land of glory and of hope, a land of love and unity. Yea, oh children of Guyana, rise, rise up and sing with happy tears and bless the land that gave you
Very
birth.
pleasant good evening and welcome to the Ken Ramprasad Show on a special edition. Tonight our hearts are heavy as we reflect on one of the most devastating tragedies in recent Guyanese history, the sinking of MB Burima. What began as a routine journey from Georgetown to Port Kaituma has turned into an unimaginable heartbreak for families across our nation. On behalf of the Ken Ramprasad Show and all of us on Island Zone Radio, we would like to extend our deepest sympathy to the family and to the people of Guyana. We stand with you, we grieve with you through this difficult time, the time that's painful. As we all know, on the 18th of this month, the boat capsized approximately 7 to 10 miles offshore near the Pomeroon Essequibo coast after sending a distress signal around 11 p.m. As we know, the ferry was reported to have approximately 133 people, yet we are not sure exactly how much people were on the boat. Anyhow, there were 17 crew members, although officials believe more people may have been aboard. This boat carried dead 73 people, 76 was rescued, and about 30 that's missing. I also heard that there were some bodies, about 5 bodies, that was unidentified, so nobody was able to identify that. Authorities have launched a criminal investigation into the disaster. Early reports indicate that the captain and crew members are in police custody, and there were reports where alleged drug use, marijuana, things like alcohol. I also have to say, as a nurse who have worked in detox, that sometimes marijuana use, it could be in your system for 1 month. So I want to say we can't really differentiate right now until they do blood tests and so on to tell whether that person was smoking the same day or like a month or so before. And I have to tell you a little timeline about this boat. This boat came about in 1939. The MV Barima was built in Scotland and launched in British Guyana in November the 17th, 1939. Following Guyana's independence, ownership of the vessel passed to the government of Guyana. In 2012 to 2013, the ferry underwent a docking and maintenance after being selected to temporarily replace the aging MV Lady Northcote on some services. In 2017, the vessel received major repair costing approximately 150 million Guyana dollars and returned to service. And in 2021, emergency replacement of major engine components was carried out to keep the ferry operational. Additional emergency repair were completed after inspectors found sections of the vessel had seriously deteriorated. And in 2024, the vessel underwent further maintenance before continuing service. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. In studio tonight, we have no other than O.C. Rogers. He's no stranger to our Guyanese community, and also to he is affiliated to the PPP government in Guyana, and also in the background playing our music and make sure that sound is good, no other than DjFess. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you doing, Mr. O.C. Rogers?
Well, good evening, Ken. I'm doing okay, notwithstanding the immense grief that has consumed every single Guyanese. And as a Caribbean integrationist, I must say even our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean has been touched in some way by this tragedy. So I'm doing okay, notwithstanding the grief and all that's happening at this present moment. And I'm looking forward to sitting here with you and having a nice discussion. And of course, let me say good evening to all the listeners of Island Zone Radio, to you wherever you're listening to us from. Thank you very much for joining us. One thing though I must say, I am not here representing the government. I'm here in my private capacity. So yes.
All right, good. So, O.C., when you heard of this happened in Guyana, that this boat sank, what was your thought, and how is your everyday now from that day? I know it was a difficult thing. It still is.
Yes.
One of the major disaster in Guyana's history. How are you feeling, and what was your thought when this happened?
Well, it is the worst marine disaster to ever hit our nation. Like I said before, every single Guyanese has been affected by this. As for me, I look and I some of the videos I cannot watch. It makes me so depressed to see some of the videos, some of the hurting mothers, some of the hurting fathers, also family members, grandparents. One night I was sitting and I was watching a grandparent talk about losing members of her family, and that brought me to tears. That's when it really hit me the hardest. But from the time I heard that this vessel went down and there were so many people on board, I was hoping and praying that there would not be any casualties. But unfortunately, we are where we are today. And like I said, as Guyanese, my biggest call that I'm here for is for us to stand in unity with the families and to allow the investigation to take its course and let the chips fall where they may. That would be my takeaway that I would want us to take away today. But for me, It is still having a toll on me as a Guyanese, as a person who care about my country, even though I live here in the United States. You know, my heart is in Guyana, my heart is with my Guyanese people. And when they suffer, when they bleed, we feel it here in the diaspora. Those of us who love our country, the real patriots, we feel it there also.
Absolutely, and I have to say that I am the same thing. You know, when listening to these videos, where I listened to one grandfather was talking about his grandchildren, and it was so profound. Like you, I tear up, I cried. I had many times that I teared during all of this, and I'm going to deviate from my questions from you. Now, how has this incident changed you, O.C. Rogers? How you look at life in the past? Is there any change in you, or you will just go on?
Of course, this incident has, and like I said, anybody with a conscience and with a heart, this incident will have a toll on you. It will cause you to stop and look at your own life, and to realize that we're all gonna we're gonna meet that stage one day. You know, that one day, a day is gonna start without you here. You understand me? So if we start remembering those things and bring out the better part of ourselves,
Yes, yes.
The humane part, you know, be better humanitarians for our brothers and our sisters. Sometimes we got to put politics aside. Ladies and gentlemen, there's everybody know that I am an ardent advocate for my party, that I support on its policies. But there are times when you have to put that on the back burner and just remember that we're Guyanese and we're brothers and sisters that are suffering. We feel it. And if you really, like I said, if you're really a patriot, this incident should have changed you in some way. It should have affected you in some way. It should have bring out the better of you. That's, you know, yeah.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad, OC, that I have seen life how it is from a young man, and that's what changed me to be the man that I am. And I only hope that this that happened would change some people from the way they look at life. Because in my opinion, life is just a short time. We're
Yes.
going to be on this earth. We don't need to fight and argue and kill each other. I believe that we all could look at life as a blessing,
Yeah,
if you know
and
what
Ken,
I mean.
don't mean to interrupt you, but as
go
it
ahead.
crossed my mind, I want to say,
Go ahead.
you know, I go to Guyana and even sometimes listening to some of the more cantankerous people on social media, Guyanese, of course. And sometimes all they could talk about is kill and dead, I'd kill you, buddy, I'd kill you. And sometimes I'm startled by this, and I'm wondering if this person know. Oh, you know who's me? I will kill you. I will kill you. And they talk about death as though this death thing is like what you see in PUBG or in the video games. You die just now, and then somebody could recharge you or recall you, and you can come back. Death is the end, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to start seeing it as it is, and stop all this talk about killing and death, and bring back the human side of us. You know, some of our people, I see them and they are worse than beasts. Sometimes the way they talk, you understand me? Imagine we got to a stage in our country where I saw one time some people are celebrating that Don Singh passed away, regardless of what your political affiliation or your political support. You might hate someone politically, but that does not mean that you have to hate that person themselves. You might hate their political ideology. I get a lot of hate because of my politics. You understand me? And I'm very, like I say, I'm very bullish in the defense of my party. But that doesn't make those people that are that I'm opposed to, they're not my enemy. And even those who I always say, listen, right? My 20% friend is not my 80% enemy. You understand me? So I just hope that this tragedy would be used as an opportunity for all of us to do some self-examination and for all of us to get back to that place where we respect human life.
I am glad you say that, because I want to jump in and say, with the Don Singh story, which I was following, I want to encourage people that those of you who are listening to this program tonight, that know that I always preach these things. We must be respectful to people, and as we are here, I'm going to say this one thing too. One of the things that we have to learn to do, OC, that we are all human beings, we must respect each other's ideas and opinion. We all have an opinion, but we must respect each other. The truth of the matter is, you are Afro-Guyanese, you from, I think, Linden.
Yes.
I am from Leno on the west coast of Damara. We were brought up differently. You know, what may be good for you may not be good for me.
Correct.
At the same time, we can agree to disagree with each other. What do you think?
I agree with you 100%. Listen, some of my friends that I played basketball with, some of them have been converted, yes, but some of them are diehard opposition supporters, used to be PNC supporters. But they realize that our friendship is stronger than our political
Yes.
differences. And when it comes to us defending our political differences, like I said, I'm bullish. I'm very rough and hardcore in the defense of my party and my belief. And I don't just say this based on blind following. I say this based on the facts that I could back up. You understand me? I'm not going to get into an argument with anybody if I know that what I'm saying I'm not sure about. But if I'm sure about it, well, then we're gonna go into the gutters. But it doesn't have to get physical, and it doesn't have to get personal. Politics should not be personal. You know, I saw, and you know, Ken, I'm gonna let you lead this because
Yeah.
so
We
many
want to
things I
keep
want to
this.
say.
Excuse me. We want to keep this nice and sweet, and also, I want us to like respect each other.
Of course.
And let people respect. Because we want this show to bring some love and clarity. Now, OC, and you know, as the host, I want people to know that I am fair with my questions to you, and I'm trying my very best to bring some kind of closure. OC Rogers, this boat is 80-something years old, and I'm going to say this without any apologies. Now, this boat was an old boat, and I have to tell you that across the board, the PPP, the PNC, the APNU, I want all of them to take the responsibility of what really happened to all these people in the interior. Because across the year, throughout the years, 80-something years, all of you had the opportunity to make a difference in the Amerindian community. So I am not going to buy where people just blame one set of people. We all have to share this. Also, I want to add respectfully, I want to know, and like I said, throughout the years, who has been advocating for the Amerindians, our indigenous people in Guyana. We know a couple of years ago, a lot of young girls died, and now we see so many people perish again. I have to wonder what's going on in this community. The pain that this community is experiencing now. I am hoping that the government of Guyana is paying attention to these people and is sending help for them. You want to add anything?
Well, I want to add Ken.
Yes.
And like I said, we've already agreed, and even before we came here, we always have been respectful to each other, and we can respectfully disagree, like you said.
Right.
And I would respectfully disagree with you,
Right.
in the sense that it was not only while the majority of the people that perished on the MV Barima, it was not only our Amerindian
right.
brothers and
True,
sisters that
true.
perished. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, listen, if it was one Amerindian, I don't want us to see it as one Amerindian. I want us to see it as one Guyanese. That person is a part of me, and I'm a part of that person. I don't do race. I don't see that. I'm color blind when it comes to race. So I want us to understand that. And one political party has started the transformation. It was the People's Progressive Party Civic who went and got budgeted for the new boat. Unfortunately, the boat was not put into operation before this tragedy happened. So yes, the PPP went and got new boats because they recognized. But you know, Ken, what our problem is in Guyana? We, the Guyanese people, every single one of us collectively, right? We drop the ball when it comes to safety. The young man is going to work, doing construction work, working with heavy duty, with heavy tools, doing drilling, and he's wearing the slippers at work. Nobody says anything. You understand me? Safety first. Going to work in places with no hard hat. At one time I go to a place and I see one young man all the way up on the roof, putting on the roof, the shingles on the roof. He's all the way to the end, a 3-story building, and all they get is a rope and someone holding him at the back there. You understand me? We have got to take
Precaution.
Take safety seriously, right? And we've got to stand up. We are people have got to stand up. We got to the minibus, oh, it's only supposed to carry 15, but 25 of us sit down comfortable in there and don't say anything. And then the one person who would stand up and say anything, everybody's looking at them like they're the stupid one, like they're the one who is making a mistake. You understand? The truck is supposed to carry 10 tons, it's carrying 20 tons. It rolled down the bridge, killed somebody, oh, it's the PPP fault. The PPP then put on more excess weight. It is us, we the people, the Guyanese people, who's got to stand up for safety. You understand me? People working without hard hats. You understand me? You see the taxi driver in the park. He's there consuming Guinness, and you're still going to jump in his car. And then if the car, God forbid, the car get into an accident, you're looking for someone else to blame. We've got to take responsibility also. We've got to demand better, right? Demand better, demand more safety and stuff like that. Do it for ourselves. It starts with us. It starts with us. And while it might not be in the same veracity, you know, we who live here in the diaspora, we go back to Guyana, and when we see certain things that leave us amazed, that we're not accustomed to here in North America or wherever we live, you know, we speak up and then we look like, he playing fire and by, he playing this, he playing that, he playing prim and proper and all kind of thing. It is because of safety. Look at the way these people drive, speeding down the roads and stuff like that. The PPP tell them to drive like that. We've got to bring back our humanity. We've got to start caring, and we've got to also demand better from those who are providing our transportation and stuff like that. In Guyana, it's not an excuse. I want to make sure I say this to you. This, what I'm about to say, is not an excuse. But we have a habit in Guyana of keeping old things working. The man the car clearly says the air in the tire is supposed to be 35 PSI. You pump it up till it's hard because that's what you're accustomed to. Now the wheel blow out while you're speeding down the linear highway and kill everybody. We've got to change the way that we do these things.
Now, as you're talking about people, right? The truth of the matter is too, like for example, I was hearing a story the other day that one lady was talking about the speed that the car was going and the overload, and the driver stopped and put her out. OC, also, you know, I have to tell you that also we want the police in Guyana to do their job. And don't get me wrong, if the people are not following the rules and regulation, then guess what? And let's talk a little bit about that road accident. It's ridiculous. We can't continue like this, where we're having every day a minibus accident in Guyana. So as we're talking about that, we need the police to also follow the rules. Also, if you got to seize people minibus, follow the rules. And in saying that too, we also need to pay, I didn't expect all of this that we're talking now. Also, we must pay our civil servants, and this is me, pay our civil servants that they don't accept bribes. Yet again, I want to say, sometimes no matter how much money they get, still they go take real bribe. But if you get my point. So I agree with you. We need to get things going in Guyana when it comes to safety. As you said, number one is safety. All right, so we're going to get a song now, or... so, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Ken Rampersad Show on Island Zone Radio with the man O.C. Rogers. We're talking about the incident that happened in Guyana, and so Fess is going to be playing a song for us now.
Today, Guyana mourns. On that July morning, the journey began. Families and friends held each other's hands. Mothers with children, workers and friends, never imagining how the story would end. Some sat in their seats, some rested below. Some swung in hammocks as the trade winds blew. Smiles and goodbyes faded from view. Only God knew what they were going through. Envy Barima, we'll remember your name. So many precious lives will never be the same. Every tear, every prayer, every helping hand shows the strength of our beloved land. God bless Guyana through this painful time. May hope and love forever shine. Some held on to life jackets, some clung to floating debris. Parents held their children close. Strangers helped strangers, and brave rescuers never gave up. We honor every act of courage, every life lost, every survivor, and every family waiting for answers. Guyana stands with one loving heart. No tragedy can tear that apart. To the passengers, the captain and crew, the rescue teams, the grieving families, and every survivor, our thoughts and prayers are with you. May God bless Guyana, comfort every broken heart, and grant eternal peace to those who lost their lives.
All right, welcome back to the Ken Rampersad Show on Island Zone Radio. I want to say thank you very much to the man himself, DjFess. I love the studio. Anyway, let's say good evening to Veronica, Good Energy, Charmin Stevenson, Sansan Siprasad, Geeta Rampersad, Rhonda Spencer, Tom Amorel, Madrimotu, Usha Azimula, watching all the way from Wisconsin. Thank you very much for the cheese. Jay-Z, Roina Lal, a very good evening to you. Thanks for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, please share this show so that we could share our with our viewers what we are thinking. Bansi Pursad, a very good evening to you. And again, we want to say thanks to DjFess for doing this. Geeta Rampersad is watching. Thank you very much. Now, let's continue with our question. Sorry, my phone was ringing there. OC, we heard so many rumors, and I cannot verify any. I'm not sure if you can verify any. I heard that there was problems with this boat taking off from Georgetown. The boat cut off one time. I hear one time water was in the boat. So what is it that you're hearing? Because I'm wondering to know if we could have prevented this. We also heard, and I know that you're privy for more information than I do, but I also heard that the captain, the original captain who would sail his boat to the Northwest District, he refused to take the boat there. What are you hearing in here?
Well, Ken, I'll say this to you first. You would remember when a little child lost their life. Unfortunately, any loss of life in Guyana is an unfortunate thing, and we've got to, like I said, we've got to start embracing each other and stand up for each other, okay? But you remember when there was the gas station bombing?
Right.
There was news all over of this Andre guy,
right,
who gave an account of what happened. Right? And Andre, some of the news outlets in Guyana took Andre's story and made it news until others came and refute Andre's story. My point I'm making to you is that unfortunately, and this is not unique to Guyana alone, unfortunately we're going to have all sorts of people coming with all sorts of stories.
Right.
But you know what I do? I wait for the experts. There's going to be a commission of inquiry. The members have already been selected. and the president reached outside of Guyana because of his seriousness that he wants it to be impartial. There must be no fingers pointing or anything like that. So he reached for the best minds in the related fields in the Caribbean so that we can have a truth of what happened. And once the professionals come up with what really happened, that's what I'm going to go by. We in Guyana listen too much to hearsay. Everybody hear and say something. And it's what caused us, unfortunately, to end up in the Adriana Young situation. Because everybody hears something. Everybody knows something. Everybody's an expert on something all of a sudden on Facebook. Let us wait for the experts. Let the experts tell us exactly what happened. And I am one who's saying, listen, when the experts say what happened, let the chip fall where they may. Whoever got to get sent home have to get sent home. People must be held accountable. But everybody coming up with some story, everybody knows something. People are using some of the worst tragedies. And some of our opposition politicians also, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. I didn't come here to do politics, but some of our opposition politicians also, they just wait for a tragedy to happen so that they could jump on it and try to score political points, and then they come up with all these conspiracies and start pushing some of these conspiracies because it benefits them politically, because they know that some of the people that they're talking to would not investigate things for themselves. They listen to whatever their political leaders tell them, and they say it's gospel. It is why we had the big issue also with the 2020 elections. The APNU said they won the elections, and there was a whole segment of the Guyanese population who believed them without one shred of evidence. So I am appealing to us. Like, let us wait on the professionals. Let us not come up with conspiracy theories and try to thwart and everybody just doing and saying things and looking for likes. You understand me? How far does a like go when you're affecting someone else?
This is where I stand, and I agreed. The government, the president agreed to have people from outside of Guyana. But like I said, this is my personal opinion. I believe that he should have like a couple Guyanese, and not to say, wait, I'll give you the opportunity to say what you have to say.
Of course.
But I want to believe that it would probably benefit Guyana to bring in a few Guyanese. I don't want to say troublemaker, to be very honest with you, to see how the investigation is going, to listen, and so that they will see and they will get the experience with these things looking. And you could disagree with me. I like Amanza Desire. She's an attorney. She specializes in maritime, I think. And so I think it would be nice if you have people, one of her, somebody else from another party. No. So, because you know how it is in Guyana. You know people say all manner of things. And I'm not saying that would bring any kind of normalcy. But what I'm saying is that it would have been nice if we have, and so you can defend what you want to.
Well, first of all, and Ken, Amanza is not an impartial person. Amanza has political aspirations. Amanza has been caught many times lying on television. These are not allegations I'm making up, right? Amanza has been caught many times lying on television, and Amanza, because of her so desperately want to be relevant, Amanza says anything that could sensationalize any issue. So Amanza, for example, is not a good candidate.
All right.
Now let me continue to say this.
Right.
But this is not. I don't know why the president did not use Guyanese. And like I said, I want to reiterate that I am not here on the behalf of the president or the PPP or the government. I'm here in my private capacity. But one of the reasons why I think the president did not use Guyanese, because the Guyanese also, those in the opposition side, have a tendency of believing that Barjagdio got the money tree and he's pay everybody. You remember in the elections time, they said that Barjagdio he paid everybody. He paid Claudette Singh, he paid the CCJ, he paid Donald Trump, he paid, what's his name, not Marco Rubio at the time,
I know who you're talking about.
the former Secretary of State. How could I forget his name?
I forget.
Yes, right? He paid all of these guys. That's what they were accusing the PPP of, right? There's still people in Guyana right now who are convinced except for the players, right, David Granger and them, there's still people in Guyana now who are convinced because their political leaders said that they won the 2020 elections. There's still people in Guyana who are convinced that the APNU won the 2020 elections. You understand me? And they are convinced that Bar Jagdeo paid every single person. Even when the UN people came out and spoke against them, oh, Bar Jagdeo paid them too. Mia Motley, a well-respected leader in Barbados, every time that Mia has faced the electorate in Guyana, she wiped out the opposition. Well-respected in Barbados, well-respected in the Caribbean, well-respected in the world. Christiana Amanpour, one of CNN's most popular and most educated and well-rounded journalists, praised Mia Motley. You want to tell you what we did to Mia Motley in Guyana? We discredited the woman because she stand up for the truth and said what they call the elections for what it was. They discredit her. They call her all kinds of names. You understand me? A woman, a Caribbean woman that is respected in the world. So coming back to what you're asking me, Ken, right? Had the president, these people that he chose from the Caribbean are still going to get beat down by the opposition. You want me to tell you why? Because it benefits them politically to discredit these professionals. That's what they do. They have nothing better. They have. We're not doing politics.
Right. We're going to keep it nice and sweet. The other thing is that my question is, it took from like 6-7 hours to get help for the people in the boat after they sent out the call for help. I find that that's a long time, despite I don't know how long it would take to get help there. So share some light about that.
Well, Ken, based on, again, I rely on information from the professionals and not what they say, right? And based on the report that the Prime Minister gave only today in Parliament, he said that the first set of people, I don't remember exactly what time, but it wasn't at 5 in the, it didn't take 5 hours for the first set of people to be rescued. You understand? From the time that they received the signal and stuff like that, and they activated our emergency response system, and persons were being rescued. The bulk of the people were rescued at 5-something in the morning, yeah. But from the time that they went there, they began to rescue people. And it did not take 5 hours.
All right. And I guess that after all these investigation done, then we're going to know the really truth of all of this, and that's why we have to be a little patient. Do you believe, in your opinion, from all that you're hearing, that this was something that could be prevented?
I do believe that, yes.
You believe
I
so?
do believe it could have been prevented. But again, I'm going to tell you why. One of the reasons, it's not the only reason, the boat is an old boat and it should not have been in operation. O.C. Rogers said that. All right?
All right.
O.C. Rogers said that. However, one of the contributing factors to this boat going down is our flex culture in Guyana, where somebody gonna come and say, man, oh, it's flex, man, they put you on the boat now. The boat is already full. No, man, flex and put you on now. Put on these 2 bucks for we, no, man.
Right.
All this 5,000 put on these 2 bucks for us now. So that is one of our biggest contributor to this accident that I would want to say. Because if we overload the boat body and the boat is only supposed to carry a certain amount, what do you think is going to happen? You understand? Right?
Yeah.
So I spoke one time about our flex culture. I remember a police, it's either sergeant or inspector, I don't remember the story very well right now, but a police officer who was responsible for passing people and giving them, making them eligible for a driver's license. I remember that police officer, you know, somebody talked to him. This is a true story because I am privy to the story. Somebody talked to him and said to him that, listen, you know, this boy can't read and write properly, but, you know, he's been working, he's been doing minibus conductor work for a while. So if you could flex with the man, flex with the black brother and give you a driver's license now. Well, guess what? He did flex with the black brother and give him a driver's license. And months later, that same black brother killed that police officer's wife with the minibus. You understand me? That's the danger of our flex culture. Listen, I am one person who believes that, listen, if this is the way that you're supposed to get a driver's license, do it the right way. I ain't paying for nothing.
You see me disappear on the screen is because Fess has a very special camera that it's fancy. So anyway, you guys will hear me. So let me ask you something. What challenges do you think that what are some of the challenges the captain for the boat had, like, before going to making this trip?
Well, again, Ken, I would want to, again, I'm not going to go by the hearsay and stuff like that. I'm going to wait for the official, whatever they say officially. Another thing I want to say, and even this one, right? There are many people who said that they were drinking.
Yes.
I'm not just going to jump by hearsay.
Okay.
I'm not going to go by hearsay. Listen, if they were drinking and sporting and partying while they had people's lives in their hands, they should be held accountable, and they should feel the full blunt of the law. But we have a culture in Guyana, depends on which side you're on, then it determines whether you're guilty or innocent. If you are APNU or WIN, or opposition to the People's Progressive Party, you are innocent until proven guilty. If you're a supporter of the PPP, anybody say you're guilty. The rules, innocent before proven guilty, those rules that is set out in the world recognize that. The world says that. Innocent until proven guilty. But if you're PPP, that doesn't apply to you in Guyana. You're guilty. Anything anybody say, you're guilty. Listen, it was one of the most disgraceful things I saw today. Imagine, sorry Ken, but I have to do this politics here. Imagine Odessa Primus is shouting at Bishop Edgel and calling him murderer. Well, Odessa Primus, there is no allegation that Bishop Edgel has ever dabbled in murder. The leader this is the hypocrisy in Guyanese politics. The leader that she is supporting, there are credible allegations against him that he has dabbled in murder. Ladies and gentlemen, she was shouting criminal to Bishop Edgel. There is no proven allegation or nothing that could be proven that Bishop Edgel has dabbled in criminal activities. Well, a U.S. grand jury in Florida has come up, has examined the evidence, and the leader that Odessa Primus represents they checked out the evidence, and there's sufficient evidence to take him to trial. They believe he's guilty of criminal offenses. But these people have the audacity, like Odessa Primus and them. Imagine she's shouting at Bishop Edgel and calling him a murderer without one shred of evidence to support that. Meanwhile, you have a whole grand jury. You can't say it's Guyana where somebody push a money in somebody's hand and say he up and indict him. It is the United States of America, the United States where the rule of law triumphs anything. Even our president here in the United States, ladies and gentlemen, had faced a grand jury before. You understand me? So you can't discredit the justice system in the United States. Back to regular programming.
That's right. All right. He was getting hot there. But let's talk a little bit. And ladies and gentlemen, I am just trying to get the best answers out of this young man. I am right on the fence, if you know what I mean. I want us to have a nice, stimulating argument. And it's respectful. But let's talk a little bit about Edgel. Now, from all that we see going on, and like I said, I'm going to try to stimulate this argument, and you will bring your argument for me. In the United States, whenever there is an allegation, we know that people are getting suspended until the what do you call this thing, man? There's a word I'm using, until investigation done. Sorry, they get suspended or they get paid with home, whatever it is. Now, a lot of Guyanese people are asking, and based on what I am not sure, that he should resign. And without you getting very excited, in your opinion, if an investigation comes out and show that, you know, they said the fish starts stink from the head. And I'm just using semantics here. If you found out that it's because of the heads, would you accept his resignation? I mean, it's near place, it's not your place, but you say, you know what, Jill, you will need to resign. Or if you should have a conversation with Ejil now, what would your advice be to Ejil?
Well, what would I advise Ejil? Listen,
Take your time and talk.
no, but here what I would say though. I will try to answer the question about my advice to Ejil, but here's what I would say. Again, right? Bishop Ejil is not the one who captained the boat. While Bishop Ejil has responsibility for the sector, he can determine that every tire must have the correct amount of air, every boat must have go every day to check before the boat depart to make sure they have enough life jackets, take a breathalyzer test to make sure that the captain is not drinking. It's called personal responsibility. And as a captain, when you were placed there in command of a vessel, you have personal responsibility for the people's safety. All right? Now, if Bishop Ejil was the captain of the boat, it would have been a different story. You would hear me sing a different tune. And there were allegations that Bishop Ejil was drinking while captaining the boat. It would have been a different story. But the Bishop Ejil and every other cabinet minister serves at the behest of the president. And the president is who has to determine whether he has confidence in Bishop Ejil or any other minister for that matter. As a matter of fact, I hear they say Ejil and Indar. You understand me? That's another story altogether. Because you want to... But hear what I'm going to say about all of this, right? It all depends on when you hear people shouting the loudest, right, in Guyana, opposition parties shouting the loudest. It all depends on which political party you support. Because I didn't hear those same people shouting for Aubrey Norton to resign or step aside when a member of his own party accused him of attempting to rape her. I didn't hear those people shouting about step aside. When the U.S. grand jury, right, indicted Mohammed, I didn't hear nobody calling for Mohammed to step aside. This is not Guyana came up with these findings again, right? It is the capital of justice, right, in the world. The United States justice system is second to none other, right? And like I said, even the 40th or 45th and 47th president has faced the United States justice system. All right? The United States justice system know what face. And if the United States justice system has said that they found enough evidence that Mr. Mohammed has indulged in criminal activity, but they ain't shouting for him to resign. They ain't shouting for him to go nowhere. They have full confidence in him. You understand me? But just because Bishop Ejil is the head of that sector, Bishop Ejil must go. You see the hypocrisy? Again, I want to point out, they call Bishop Ejil criminal and murderer and all kind of things. Odessa Primus, for Christ's sake, is calling him that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to Bansi Persada, Baldio Anil. Good evening. Bina Persad, your sister Bina Persad is watching.
Bina.
Hafiza Khan is watching. Thank you very much, everyone. I think our DJ is going to get ready to play a song shortly. In the meantime, hope all is well. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're having any kind of mental health issue, now might be the time to speak to your religious leader or your good friend or get some professional help. All right? So I'm not sure. Our DJ is getting ready soon for a song while we take a deep breath and come back and continue this discussion, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the Ken Rampersad Show on Island Zone Radio, which airs at least I try every Monday night. Let's go, DJ.
Tonight the rivers carry sorrow, whispers drifting to the sea. Every wave repeats a prayer for every soul and family, From Pomeroon to Essequibo, from Demerara's flowing tide, a nation stands with heavy hearts, the Caribbean by its side. A river of tears is flowing tonight, but love is stronger than the darkest night. One Caribbean, one family, holding Guyana tenderly. When one heart breaks, we all feel the pain. Together we'll stand till hope comes again. Across the islands, candles burning, voices lifted, heads bowed low. Hands may never reach the shoreline, still our love will surely show. From Georgetown to New York, from Toronto over the sea, from London back to Linden, one Guyanese family. From Bridgetown to Kingston, from Castries to Port of Spain, the Caribbean joins together to lift your hearts again.
No border can divide our tears.
No ocean is too wide.
When one nation breathes,
The whole region walks beside.
to every Guyanese abroad,
Wherever you may roam tonight, a million hearts remind you, you are never far from home. A river of
tears is flowing tonight.
but dawn will always follow night. Hold each other
Don't let go.
together through the tears.
Ooh, oh,
Guyana,
you do not walk alone.
to every Guyanese, at home and around the world.
Caribbean walks with you.
Dedicated to the people of Guyana, to Guyanese communities around the world, and to the rescuers, first responders and volunteers whose courage brings hope in the darkest of hours. A river of tears,
Guyana,
you do not walk alone.
That's right. Welcome back to the Ken Rampersad Show on Island Zone Radio. Our guest tonight is no other than O.C. Rogers. O.C., we have seen there is a lot of security problems in Guyana. Safety problems, I mean, when it comes to minibus, when you come to the road. The bridge, we know a truck, they had a problem there. Now with this incident happened with the boat, and then with the girls that died. I think we need to sit down and come to the table and decide how we're gonna to try to reinforce, come up with laws, or I mean, we could come up with laws, yes, but people break these laws. But come up with something tangible to safeguard people. What are some of the things that you would want to see when it comes to safety first for people, as you mentioned before?
Right. So there are quite a few things that needs to happen. First of all, we need common sense policing in Guyana. Common sense policing in Guyana. Let me elaborate a little bit on that. One of the things that happen in Guyana is, somebody's driving down the road, somebody run across the road, and unfortunately gets struck by the person who's driving. The person paperwork and everything is intact. security camera shows that that driver is not at fault. Eyewitnesses show the driver is not at fault. The standard procedure in Guyana is that that person still has to go into the lockups. And God forbid if the person is hospitalized, the person who got hit is hospitalized and is in a bad shape, the person has to stay in the lockups or on the bench until the doctors say that, oh, this person may not die, or to make sure a person didn't die. That's not common sense policing. Right? I'm just using that as an example. There are so many others. So the first thing that has to happen is common sense policing. The second thing that has to happen is that we need, when our police officers go out there and they're enforcing the traffic laws, well, first of all, they got to clean up their house first, right? Because you're not preaching down. You understand? We're all in this thing together. You understand? So we've got to come up with ways and strategies in which we can have police officers who go out there and they are out there to ensure that people get to their destination. Traffic officers, I'm talking about in this instance, they ensure that people will be able to get to their destination in a safe manner instead of instead of going out there and opening their small business. A police officer, a friend of mine, the constable, told me that this is a small business. He has a quota, and when you go out there, you gotta make 20,000 before you go home.
Oh, wow.
Traffic officer is a small business.
Yes.
So we need police officers who are taking safety seriously also, right? I'm not saying that has to be done in a straitjacket. I'll be one of the persons who say, yes, sometimes a little bit of flexibility depending on the seriousness of the incident. Let me tell you something, right? I have friends who are drivers in Guyana. I tell them straight up, if you drink and drive, don't call me for talk to no police here. If you call me, I can hang up the phone for you. You understand me? Because if you're my friend and you respect me, you would not do something that will put yourself and others in danger. You would respect that. So don't call me once you drink and drive. You understand me? You got a little tint on your vehicle and stuff like that. Yes, I would try to help. You understand me? But the whole speeding down the road, driving up the one way and that sort of thing, don't call me. Don't call me. I mean it. If any of my friends watching me, none of y'all are not hearing this for the first time. All right? So those are some of the things I want to see. But us, we, the Guyanese people, we have got to take responsibility also. We've got to take responsibility also. We have got to insist that I am not the only one speaking up because the minibus is overloaded. We have to ensure that we have to ensure that speaking up for the truth is not an abnormal thing in Guyana anymore. You understand me? I could tell you so many stories. So there's lots of things that we have to do, and I would hope that we would use this tragedy, right? And let me tell you one of the other things. You know, some of these young guys, they make a little money. The first thing they run to buy is a motorcycle. They cannot operate a motorcycle properly. And one of my friends just told me one of the things that they're doing also is, in order to make the motorcycle go faster, they're removing the clutch.
Oh, wow.
So all you have when you're speeding down the road at 120 miles an hour, all you have is the front brakes and the back brakes.
Oh, wow.
Because the clutch has been removed to help the vehicle, the motorcycle, to brake faster, reduce speed faster. So I just learned about that today, that they're removing the clutch from the motorcycle so it will go faster. Now somebody swing out in front of you, you got this front brakes and back brakes.
Oh, wow.
The engine doesn't have a clutch there now to break down the gears fast enough so that you can stop. What do you think is going to happen? It's instant death, ladies and gentlemen. We got to start. And again, majority of our young people and some of our older people too, I'm seeing them like this death thing becomes like it's nothing in Guyana.
Right.
Like you see people, I could dead now. I done dead already. Those sort of things.
Wow. No
No respect for themselves, no respect for human life. No, listen, man. They're listening to these music, some of the most filthy
vulgar
dance hall music,
Yes.
talking about how much people they killed, so much man we kill, and all this kind of
And
stuff.
sex and thing.
Yeah, Right? Some of the most lewd things are in these music, and children are going to school in the minibus, and this is what they feed in their mind. If you feed your mind with garbage, garbage is going to come out. Your thinking, your entire thinking is going to be filth because you're feeding your mind with garbage. So we've got, as a people, we've got a lot of work to do also. You understand me? We've got a lot of work to do also, but we could do it. Because I am confident that the smart, respectful, responsible people still outnumber the scriptheads.
True.
I believe that 10-1. I still believe that in Guyana we have more decent people who want things to go right than the scriptheads. Unfortunately, when you got the most negative in society that has political backing, that is where your recipe for disaster is. When you have low-life market nigger yard culture, sorry to use that word, but ghetto culture that is now in our parliament, that's where we're heading, because these are the leaders that some people look up to. Some of them already blank out the PPP leaders. They want to hear nothing from them. But when you look across the other side to your leaders, there's no leadership on that side.
Let me take a deep breath. I like this. Anyway, what kind of, from your, like I said, if you don't know, you don't know, you don't want to answer the question, it's fine with me. What kind of help, and I think I wanted to interview Vindy, Minister Vindy, what kind of help, that the families of these people who passed away or who's missing, are they receiving right now in Guyana?
Well, Ken, there are those who are going to doubt me, but
speak your truth.
The nation, I do that all the time.
Speak your truth.
But the nation could not have asked for a better president than the one we have right now. He is a humanitarian. He is a person that put people first. There are many times I could tell you when Irfan could go home and lie down with his wife and his children and do family time, but he puts people first. When Irfan traveled all the way from Toronto, Canada, 6 hours on an aircraft, and go home and just spend about 2 hours, and by the time you see him again, he's out there looking after floods. He's out there spend all these days in the Essequibo region, reaching with families, sitting there with them. Anybody can approach the president. That is what you want. So first of all, you have a president that is a humanitarian who cares for people, who feel people's pain. You tell me, I could tell you I've seen Irfan, and there are pictures out there where Irfan sat at the funeral. It's not a family member or anything like that. And as president, he's crying. I can tell you that, and the pictures are out there. You understand me? He cares about his nation and his people. So I am confident that whether it's, it will fall under the Minister of India Prasad, but I'm confident that whatever is available, Irfan is going to ensure, His Excellency the President is going to ensure that every single person affected by this tragedy is well taken care of. And I'm not just talking about finances, because I think sometimes, unfortunately, some people only see the dollar sign, and it's much more than that. Like you said, you're a medical professional, so it's much more than just the dollar sign. Sometimes the dollar sign can be more dangerous to a person suffering from depression. You know it, because then, this is just one example, they can now dabble into drug use and stuff like that, which is counterproductive. So while, like I said before, I'm not just talking about the dollar sign, I'm saying that I have confidence that His Excellency the President will spare nothing to ensure that every single person affected by this tragedy is well taken care of.
And also, I'm just saying this as a nurse who's been working mental health, and I have witnessed a lot of deaths and so on in my practice. Also, I would want, any leader, that they would get some some mental health too, where they get someone who they could dish out all that they are going through. Because after the dust is settled in all of this, he would need a good vacation too, to unpack all the trauma that he've experienced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, I met the president before, but I tell you, I would love that all leaders be as empathetic and to look out for the people of Guyana. And as you say, you are very adamant about racialism, and that it's across the board. Indians, blacks, and Amerindians, that everyone should get help because of the oil boom in Guyana. So, how, if you were to sit with the president now, he said, man, OC, come, we just talk sometime. OC, listen, man, come let me have a little chat. What would you advise the president to do?
I would
in all that's going on?
I would advise the president to keep doing what he's doing, because I know he's on the right track. I know his heart is in the right place. I have confidence in his leadership, and it is shown every single day in all of his actions. Every single one of his actions, his humanitarian side shows. So I would encourage the president to do what you are doing. Continue to lead from the heart, because that's what he's doing. You understand me? Of course, there are people who are going to disagree with me.
Of course.
But I want you to show me reasons why you disagree with me. That's what I would challenge anybody here who is going to disagree with me. Show me evidence to support your disagreement. They can't come up with any.
My next question to you is, and like I said before, okay. Oh, you know what's a good thing we could do? We could get somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, we can take calls. And let's go ahead and get a call. Let us know how you're feeling, what you're going through. We may be able to help you, or we may be able to answer your question. All I ask people to do is just be respectful with your call. Go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Make that call. What's the number? 347 625 9214. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give us that call. You can either direct your question to myself or Mr. O.C. Rogers. All right? We are ready to take any calls. You're watching the Ken Rampersad Show on Island Zone Radio, and which airs every Monday night at least between 8 and 10 p.m. Because I do 2 full-time jobs, I try to cut down the hours on the show. Nevertheless, I still want to be a source of inspiration and just to come on the radio sometime to share some stories, you know what I'm saying? And tonight's show, we want to bring peace and love, especially for all those people who is suffering in Guyana. And I know that every Guyanese is going through a tough time. We all take this personally, if you know what I mean. It's not easy, especially, and I want to encourage our Guyanese people. You see someone is going through a hard time, give them a hug. I will tell you guys a story while someone is calling. A couple of days ago, I met a young lady who, for probably the first time, I'll be having a conversation with her. And I was surprised that she told me her husband committed suicide in prison while she was pregnant. And there was a good moment for me to have a conversation with her, and she was like so surprised, but she didn't know that I do these kind of things, and I try to encourage her to go ahead and live her life and to live her best life for herself and her child. The guy passed away, and it was a big loss. The son would never get to see his father. Again, you're watching the Ken Rampersad Show on Island Zone Radio. We're waiting on that call to come in. In the meantime, yes, I'm going to ask O.C. Rogers. We definitely don't want something like this to happen. O.C. Rogers, we know that the Amerindian, and I don't mean to put it in a way where with race or ethnicity to come in, but we know that our Amerindian brothers and sisters in Guyana has a lot of issues going on, and some whole family died, some wife died, and the children died. If someone from the Amerindian community is listening, What's your message for them?
I never thought that you would have that there would be any question too hard for me to answer.
Right.
This is one of those questions.
Oh.
One of the time when I feel like I don't have the answer. Like I said, I don't think I'm strong enough to sit and listen to some of those stories right
Right,
now.
right.
It requires me to get at the mental stage where I am not at this moment. So I don't even. It's why I didn't even watch some of the stories out there, because I just don't have the answers, and I can't sit and face a family who has lost loved ones in this tragedy. At least not right now, and that's just me because of the heart that I have, and the love and respect that I have for our people. So I this is one of the toughest
All right.
questions.
That's
so-
all right. That's
Yeah.
But let's go. I want to say, if you meet someone who has lost a family member, and with any race, just reach out to them, give them a hug, and one of the best thing you can ever do for someone who have lost someone is just sit down and listen to them what they have to say, and you don't have to really have a conversation for them. Just be kind with your ear, listen to them, and be of some sort of support to them. If you know they need any kind of support, you may be able to direct them to someone who can support them in all that they're feeling and they're going through. And there's so much pain that Guyanese are going through right now. Now is a good time for you guys to form a nice brotherhood or sisterhood, to have conversations of what happened, and it's a sad story. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to encourage you that no matter what, be good human being. As OC said earlier, something that I know from the heart is that life is short and not predictable. So many families left to go to Georgetown, pack that boat up with stuff to go and eat. Some families I heard collect their $100,000 and never get to spend that money. That money was loose in the ocean. So money and material things doesn't, while it's good, sometimes it doesn't mean anything. So again, see how you can reach out to someone, whether near or far. A simple phone call can make a big difference. What gives you hope, OC? And I could probably help you if you don't know. What gives you hope for the people of Guyana in this difficult time? And you can probably start with our president. if you
Yeah,
want
that's
to.
that's where I was gonna go. What give me hope is that I said it before, and I say it with all sincerity. I believe that that Irfan Ali is the president for this time. I've seen how he became the consoler in chief when it was the Mahdia fire. I've seen his humanitarian side so many times. I know him. I remember when he became the candidate for the PPP. Barjagdio said, "Listen, I know Irfan. He has a big heart, and he's absolutely correct." I've seen Irfan. I've seen Irfan work. I've seen Irfan work when the cameras are off, which is the most important thing. Irfan doesn't play for the cameras. I'm telling you that. I mean that with all sincerity. He doesn't play for the cameras. I know when the cameras are off, and he continues to work for the president. So what gives me hope is that we have a president, a consoler in chief, who is going to try his best to make things as normal as possible again for those people. Normal, real normalcy might never be possible again for those people. But I know, I have confidence in him that he'll try his utmost best to see how much he can help. Ken, as I sit here and I'm talking to you, and some of the stories are just playing back in my head. You know, I couldn't see I couldn't see another president handling this situation in Guyana the way Irfan Ali handled it. And so many times, you know, he gets so much bad name, and it's okay, it's understandable. He's the president, and while I am reminded of the story of Jesus Christ. I'm not a Christian, but these stories are supposed to be stories that inspire us. The story of Jesus Christ. The story said that Jesus Christ came down on this earth to save the earth. He came without sin. That's what the Bible says. That's what the story says. But then there were people who wanted him to be nailed to the cross. There were people in the crowd shouting, "Crucify him."
Right.
Now, if they could have done that to Jesus Christ, imagine what they're going to do to me and you. He came
Amen.
to save the world. I can't save the world.
Right.
Irfan Ali can't save the world. So, regardless of how much good you do, there are people out there who's always going to be looking for a way to pull you down, a way to rain on your parade, a way to distract from the truth that is happening. You understand me? So that is why I say again, I have all confidence. I have hope. I have hope for the future because of the current leadership that we have in Guyana. Now, if that leadership is removed for any reason, I don't know what will happen. Because, you know, I'm not going to even go there. But I just have hope in our current leadership.
I have to ask you this question that it came up in my mind. You know, a lot of people, what I was reading on Facebook, and I had seen the big boat where they were having a time together with some of the ministers and so on. And you could tell me, Ken, I don't know, I would respect that. So people were asking why they didn't let that boat took over that boat to go to Northwest District.
Well, according to what I know, the boat was bought for that reason.
Right.
However, the wharfs were set up for side loading boats, and this one
the
loads
front.
from the front.
Okay.
So that is why they had to do a lot of adjustments to the wharves to have these boats go into operation. Why it took so long? We have a culture in Guyana taking along with everything. You go to Guyana to do anything. Well, I mean, that culture is changing now because Irfan Ali recognized that we've got to change that culture. And the PPP is putting things in place. Like some of our services are going online and stuff like that. But we have a culture in Guyana where we have the comeback culture. Somebody come for something for absolutely no reason, tell them come back tomorrow. Put off stuff. Oh, it's going to be done later on. And, you know, again, this is not an excuse. The boat should have been in operation.
All right. So we have a caller. Caller, you are on the line. How may I help you?
Good evening, Mr. Ramprasad. How you doing? This is DJ Navin. How's everything?
Hi, DJ Navin. I'm fine, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I got a question. I got a young man that's sitting right next to you.
Yes.
Now, when this boat topsided up, my biggest problem is why was the opposition leader there with his private boat and his own private people? Why are they there contaminating the area? And why couldn't the government stop them from doing that? And look what happened today in the parliament. Look at all the destruction they do today in parliament.
You know, that's a good question, but if I tell you something, we are trying to move away a little bit from the politics because of, you know, the radio, and we are broadcasting in Guyana. But if OC want to put a nice cover onto this, he can do it, and after that
All right. So, and I would respect you as the host of the show. Listen, the opposition leader has a motive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave it right there.
Right.
We're not gonna go into it. He has a motive,
correct.
and
That's
I
correct. I
think
agree 100%.
I think that his motive is glaring, and
Right.
the people in our country can see the motive of the opposition leader. However, like I said
To
earlier,
wake up. They need to wake up. They
like,
need to open their eyes.
like I said earlier, brother, that some of us only see the dollar sign. Some of us only see the
Correct.
dollar sign. And, you know, you're absolutely correct. It was a crime scene. And the crime scene, while it was on water, it should have been a cordoned off area and an investigation.
Right.
And nothing should have tampered with the investigations. He claimed
Exactly.
that he went there to render assistance. And you know what? I'll leave that again.
Then they're not the government assistant. That's the whole thing. But I agree with you saying 100%. My heart goes out to the entire Guyanese people. We are all praying for you. All over the world is watching. We're praying that they come to the bottom of this. What's the reason why? But the 83-year-old boat was still in service. And whatever the cause is, they could get to the bottom of it, and this should not happen again.
I agree with you 100%.
Thank you very much,
To all
caller.
the family, we are with you. Our God bless each and every one of them. Mr. Prasad, continue to do what you're doing, and God bless you as well.
Thank you very much. We want to say hello to Stephen Ray. Both things can be true. Good job. May not always get all the commensurate praise, and we need to admit when we make mistakes. That's right. Our subculture is one of the procrastination and bribery. OC, how can we in the diaspora, and I know that you are very connected with Guyana and here, how can we in the diaspora help Guyana at this moment?
Well, one of the things I want to point out right off the bat is that I see some people are setting up GoFundMe and all kinds of things to help the victim with funeral arrangements and that kind of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the President has already announced it. There's no need to, well, he didn't announce that, but he has announced that the government will be standing every single cent, standing the entire expense for every single family member affected by this tragedy.
Okay.
Funeral expenses, transportation to move from one point to the next, it is all covered by the government of Guyana. I am begging our people to connect again to your humanity. Reconnect with your humanity. Do not use tragedies like this for your own benefit. Please, I'm asking you guys. Put politics aside. Put politics aside. I don't care who you support. This is not the time for us to benefit from tragedies like this. We've seen it in the Adriana Young situation. We've seen it with the Madia fire. And here again, we see people hopping on social media, TikTok and other mediums, and seeking funds to help with burial and other things in Guyana. There's no need for that. Now, if you genuinely want to help the family, help is never too much. You genuinely want to help the family, help the family.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, you can call us as 347. It's 5625-9214. Again, you can call us, okay? We're going to let the music now, and when we come back, we will probably ask our final question for tonight, and then we're going to eat some good curry.
With humble hearts and heads bowed down in thanks for each new day of toil, we kneel before thine altar, Lord. The children of Guyana soil. Oh, great is the task that thou hast given, thy will to show, thy truth to find, to teach ourselves that we are one. but not in vain. We'll strive to build a new Guyana, great and free, a land of glory and of hope, a land of love and unity. Yea, oh children of Guyana, rise, rise up and sing with happy tears and bless the land that gave you birth and vow to serve her through the years, vow to serve her, oh, and vow to serve her through the years.
Welcome back to the Ken Rampersad Show on Island Zone Radio. My final question to O.C. Rogers will be, now O.C., we know that the ship is sitting on the ground at the bed of the river or the ocean. We know that divers went down. They say they couldn't see anything, or they couldn't rescue nothing. They couldn't move that boat. They couldn't see that there were so much hammocks and so on, and rope tied all over the place. What, from your understanding, what is the next move? Are we going to let the boat sit there, or are we going to try bring it up? Are we going to drag it to land? What's your take on that?
Well, Ken, again, I don't like to speculate.
Right.
I have no professional information on what comes next with the boat, so I won't speculate.
All right.
However, I would hope that there is some way in which we can, retrieve the boat. But remember, it took years before they actually got to the Titanic, right? And
Right.
yeah. So I'm not going to speculate as it relates to the work of the divers and all of our rescue people working in rescue. And I welcome the commission of inquiry, though, where we're going to get to the bottom of this. They're going to come up also with recommendations that we do not ever, a tragedy like this could never visit our shores again. And that is what I want to see. I want to also see that every single Guyanese, every single one of you, take safety seriously and put safety first. Hard hats, steel toe shoes, safety on our roadways, cross at pedestrian crossing. Drivers must not be consuming alcohol before they go behind the wheel. All these things. Put safety first. Every single one of us. If you are a taxi driver and you're accustomed drinking a 2 Guinness before you jump behind the wheel, say today is the last day that I've done that. I'm not doing that going forward because I'm putting safety first. I value my life from today onwards. That's what I would want to see. Every single one of us as Guyanese, if we just use this tragedy as a turning point of how we do things, of how we endanger ourselves. You know, the filth that we feed our mind as young people with the type of music we listen to. Why you think, Ken, that in the 80s and early 90s, people weren't so brutal and barbaric and hateful towards each other? Because of what they used to feed their minds. You understand me? Now these young people, they share guns and sex and all the most lewd things in the songs, and that's all they know. Mm-hmm. Back then, when you had Ray Charles and them, they sang about love, about respect for each other, right? The soul and the type of music that they sang, because we all know music sets your mood. You understand me? But if you feed your mind with garbage, oh, I want to shoot somebody today, and you go out on the road and that's how you're singing, you're looking for a problem. Some of these guys driving around with big cutlass in the vehicle. They put it in there every day, drive around with cutlass. What are they driving around with cutlass for? because they go out there looking to harm somebody if somebody gets into their way.
Yeah,
we've got to change these cultures in Guyana. Listen, I'm saying it again, if every single one of us use this tragedy as a turning point, as a Guyanese, Guyana's got good ways to go. But if we could just let this tragedy pass as just the next thing that happened in our nation, if we, the Guyanese people, are not gonna use it to change our attitudes, unfortunately, this sort of death and destruction will visit our nation again, unfortunately.
So, again, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Ken Rampersad Show on Island Zone Radio this Monday night. I am so glad that we wasn't fighting on this radio tonight, because
we came close.
Yes, but we good. But one of the things that I like to do on my radio show, and that's where I set the trend on my radio show, is to bring peace, calm in this world. There is so much that we could choose, and sometimes we don't get a lot of views, but we are content. I am content, because in a world that we live in, where there is so much hate and animosity, like sometimes I feel like I'm the only one on this radio airways trying to bring peace. That's why sometimes you see me making reels about peace, about love. And the truth of the matter is, I do these reels, I call things out as I see it, but I also chew it nice before I spit it out. And the goal is to bring peace in the world that we live in. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this show tonight. Hug someone, tell someone you love them, and thanks to DjFess for, sometimes when I'm on the radio I have to pay attention to everything. Tonight I just have to pay attention to talk and to interview Mr. O.C. Rogers. And O.C., I want to say thank you very much for coming on the radio with me tonight, so that we get a little good insight of how things went in Guyana and what we are waiting on. And I'm so glad that you reiterate the point to say that, let us wait on the investigation. And upon that, then we can do what we got to do. Until then, thanks for watching the Ken Rampersad Show. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. Looking forward to talking to you again.
No problem. It's been a while. I want to say thank you very much for Alan V. Sharma. Thanks for watching the program. And thanks to everyone who tuned in tonight to watch this episode of the Ken Rampersad Show. And for all of you who I couldn't see your texts or couldn't see you on, thank you so much for tuning in.
Sorrow, whispers drifting to the sea. Every wave repeats a prayer for every soul and family, from Pomeroon to Essequibo, from the Demerara's flowing tide. A nation stands with heavy hearts, the Caribbean by its side. A river of tears is flowing tonight, but love is stronger than the darkest night. One Caribbean, one family, holding Guyana tenderly. When one heart breaks, we all feel the pain. Together we'll stand till hope comes
Across the
IZRadio.com.
islands, candles burning, voices lifted, heads bowed low. Hands may never reach the shoreline, still our love will surely show. From Georgetown to New York, from Toronto over the sea, from London back to Linden, one Guyanese family. From Bridgetown to Kingston, from Castries to Port of Spain, the Caribbean joins together to lift your hearts again.
No border can divide our tears.
No ocean is too wide.
The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music. Island